Hello, you guys. How are you all? JennLu has fallen off twice. She was back here, fell off, back here during the intro, and then fell off again. Thank you guys for being here. And welcome, Danielle, by the way. Thank you. Hey, Crazy Mama, B Crumbs, Woofy. Hey, Melissa Jade. Hey, Jenna, Juju Bones, Petunia, Nana Banana, D. Hey, Parker. Hey, Carol Claus, Sherry, Ween Baby, H Doe, Steph, Home and the Hounds. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Punksy, good night. Bob with my tribe, On the Case with Jeannie, Pointer Lover, Nadine, Lupe, Amber, Alibi. Don't want to miss anybody, you guys, but I think I got you guys. How are you guys? And did you all watch today? Hey, Cement Shoes. Hey, Mama Bear. Hey, Jen. Hey, Cray Cray. Hey, headphones. Oh, we got a lot to talk about. A lot. There's a lot to go through. It was tough. It was graphic. Today they showed photos, the autopsy photos. We knew that was going to happen. I wasn't sure if we would be able to see them, but, hey, Mrs. O. Hey, True Crime Crazy. So, yeah. The medical examiner was our first witness. We're going to talk about each witness, what they had to say. I've got little videos to show you guys, all those kinds of things. First thing I want to start with, because I know most of you witnessed that poor baby and his autopsy photos today. And I shared a video on Twitter that I wrote, let's remember him this way, because I know that his mom, hey, Teresa, had written kind of a similar type thing. And we'll start there. Let's look again and, like that, and then we'll get into the conversation. So let me go ahead and grab those videos. They're just right here. Here we go.
Mwah.
This is to his mama. Oh, it's not even on. Hey, JennLu, you're back too. Let me put the screen on.
Mwah.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, babe.
How are you?
I'm good. I was having a little technical issue. My microphone wouldn't get picked up. It was weird.
I know. You got kicked off twice. Here, let me show this one too.
Just break my heart. This one. These just break my heart.
I know. Oh my God, he's so precious.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, what are your thoughts about after today, Jen?
Okay, I am fixated on this candle situation, number one. That's first and foremost. Because I had completely thought about the order of events a certain way. And then after the ME's testimony, then that just completely changed everything. And now I'm going in a completely different direction.
I know. It
As
did
usual.
change everything for me too. I'm still trying to figure out how to make sense of it after the ME. So let's talk about that first. That was our first witness,
Okay.
Susan Ignacio from Florida. So for people who don't know, medical examiner determined cause of death, manner of death, and they do the autopsies, that kind of thing. Let me see. I was going to try to just pull up like a better photo than just the background. I think she did good as an expert witness. She's been an expert witness many times before. You know, every time they ask, are there any objections about adding her? I'm just waiting for the defense to be like, you know,
You're
no,
right.
we don't want, but they haven't. Let me just pull up here, even though it's a little bit of a blurry photo.
And the counties
so
that she serves are big counties. Pinellas County is a big county.
Yeah,
Pasco
and you're familiar
County
with the
is,
area. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Pasco is a big county. It encompasses several cities. Pinellas is Clearwater, Dunedin, Pinellas Park. What else? It's one other city that I can't think of.
I think
Palm Harbor, I think.
Is Pasco County where like another YouTuber that we're all familiar with is lives and talks about often? I swear I've heard that a few times. Pasco County.
The only other Floridian that I know is from Watts Island, and that is Hillsborough, Tampa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was talking about Betty. I thought she was.
Oh, no. Oh, no. BHB, she's further south than me. She's over there in Manatee County, and I'm not doxing her. She said it like 11 billion times.
Yeah, she has said it 11 billion times. Hey, Kelsey Wood. Hey, Amelia. Okay, so they talked today about Gannon and his wounds. They showed him. I was surprised that they showed him. I know Law and Crime kind of tried, after the first photo, they tried to minimize that somewhat. What did you think about that, about them showing him?
I was shocked. And because I intentionally, Allie and I were talking about this before I went live this morning. I intentionally stream Law and Crime versus WebEx. I have a WebEx account. I can stream from WebEx. But the thing about streaming from WebEx is you're going to get the trial in its entirety, including, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong about this one, but the sidebars. And so it's a lot of responsibility. And as you guys know, I'd have to sit there and watch the stream. I could never just listen from my phone briefly while I step outside. So right. I just feel like, and there's a lot of rules with it. And I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I intentionally stream from Law and Crime. And I was shocked. I mean, they've done it before accidentally, Law and Crime has. And that's when their own cameras, they were streaming from the pool, but not a WebEx. There were cameras in the courtroom.
Will they go back and edit it out when that
happens? They've already done it. Okay. They've already done it. That's why if you go to Law and Crime right now, there is Letecia Stauch, Day 5, Part 1, and Letecia Stauch, Day 5, Part 2, because they went back and blurred it out. Yeah. Which I think that I'm going to do too at some point.
Okay. I would too.
Just because. Yeah.
Okay, so she goes on to talk about the injuries, right? And we already know he had been stabbed 18 times. They said his skull was crushed like an egg, and it was. And there is a picture where they shaved the head and they showed just the top of the skull. I considered showing that to you guys because it is not, it's not as bad as some of the others. That was the only one I was going to show. It just shows the bone, and it was cracked like an egg. And then they talk about, that's a perfect way to describe it. And then they talk about the gunshot wound. So, it was quite interesting because she goes into the progression of injuries, what happened first. They were talking about that. She believes that the first thing to happen would be the sharp force injuries because he was fighting back, and she believes that the blunt force trauma could have been fatal on its own, and the same with the gunshot wound. She said the fact that he was fighting back leads her to believe the head injury took place after that. Now, I had kind of always imagined that maybe there was some type of injury like that before, and she realized how bad it was. And then she decided that she was going to kill him. What do you?
Right. So that is kind of what I thought, because I always have said that the candle is very significant, and for what reason I couldn't say, but it's the only detail that in her ever-changing stories doesn't change. The candle never changes. And so to me, I feel like, do I think she's telling the truth about the candle? No, I don't. I think that it's significant and it means something. So I always thought that she might have hit him with the candle, and because it's glass. But then after hearing everything today, I was like, no, that's not what she did. She stabbed him first. Yep. And what I found interesting is that the medical examiner was emphatic about pointing out that the head injury alone would have been fatal. It would have taken a little bit of time, but it would have been fatal on its own. But more that he would have been incapacitated to the point that he would not have been able to have blocked any of the knife wounds or the sharp force injury wounds, is what she said, which I thought was interesting.
I do too. I agree with every word you say too. And I don't know. There's the photo on the so as you can see, I mean, she hit him really hard. What do you think she could have hit him with? You know, I know it's graphic, but I just wonder. And what was the other weapon that caused the sharp force injuries?
Well, I had thought about whatever it was wasn't found in the home, but they did ask about the butt of a gun, which I thought was interesting because that is that. Yeah, they did. And that is because she could not say which came first, the gunshot wound or the blunt force trauma to the head. She couldn't determine. But I thought about that butt of the gun because it sort of, if you think about it, and this is so graphic, and I'm so sorry for this, you guys, but where she shot him is like an odd place. Let's just be honest. If you have a pew, okay. I think what it was is I think she didn't intend to shoot him. I think she actually intended to just, cause the blunt force trauma, and that the GSW was like a last resort, as messed up as that is.
See, for me, I think that, like Parker said, as awful as it sounds, I think he was just so strong and had a will to live, he would not pass. Now, think about this. If he's laying down in bed and she's standing at the bottom, a gun, it went into the neck, jaw, chin area and lodged in the spine. But let me ask you, there was two bullets or two full-on bullets that were found in the pillow. So what do you think happened there? Some people were asking, do you think she covered his head or covered the gun to try not to make a sound? I don't believe that's the case, because I think they would have evidence of that, like more, they would discuss that, but it's possible. What do you think?
I think that, first of all, let me say this. I know how a pew-pew works, but I am by no means a pew-pew expert. Can I use one? Yes, I can, but I'm not an expert. But I think that should she have fired through something, that projectile would pick up the fluff, the interior of the pillow, and part of that would be in the wound.
That's what I would think. Yeah, they would be able to prove it. See, Quinny's saying kind of a similar thing, maybe through the pillow, but I don't know. I think that we would hear more about that. Hey, Sleuth Mom. Okay, so let's get into this next part. And I cannot wait to hear your opinion on this. So let me go ahead and take this off the screen, because I don't, it is graphic, and that's the only one we're going to look at. I still think it's important. And honestly, I'm glad that they show it, because we need to know and see what happened to him. And that's the very least we can do. It might be tough for us. It's tough to listen to, but think about what he went through. You know what I mean? So we owe it to him to listen and hear and see.
Yep.
Okay. So the next thing that came out, there was hydrocodone in his system and Tylenol, which likely would be, a Loratab, Vicodin, or, off hydrocodone,
Norco. Yeah,
Norco.
Norco is the brand name for hydrocodone.
Yeah, Norco is the 10-325, but there's a
Yep.
lot. There's like the pink
There's
ones, there's the blue
there's
ones, the green
there's
ones,
the
the
5,
speckled.
and those are the lower ends.
But we heard that Al had a prescription for that, but what do you think that was for? Treatment or torture? Or,
I think after everything that we learned today, and yes, hydrocodone is mixed with acetaminophen, which is Tylenol. Okay, so that, but this is what I kind of think happened after we heard everything. I kind of am thinking that there was a physical altercation first, and that Gannon was hurt from that physical altercation. And I'm thinking that perhaps she gave him the hydrocodone thinking that maybe she was going to smother him. I don't know, because it wasn't it wasn't listed the way that the GSW and the blunt force trauma and the sharp force injuries were listed as contributing factors to his cause, and she didn't, and because of the level, because of everything, how long it had been, she couldn't really get good levels. So we don't know exactly how much was in his system, but I don't think that it was a toxic amount. I think I think what we're witnessing on that camera when everybody is like he's just as out of it, I think we might be witnessing the effects of the hydrocodone at that point. That's what I think.
That makes sense to me too, because Roger, the neighbor who first came, and actually today's the first time I ever saw a shadow of him coming back home. I could see it today when they zoomed in, but the neighbor who came out with the video of them leaving and appeared that he didn't come home. When he came out with that video, he said that Gannon appeared to have been really slow, drowsy, lethargic, almost as if he had been drugged, is what he said. So I think you're right. I think that's why he appeared that way.
And then you go back to, see, this is the thing about Letecia. There is lies mixed with an element of truth. Because Letecia is the one who said she thought he might be on DRUGS. Remember? She said it was something else. She said bath salts, which I don't even know where an 11-year-old would get a hold of bath salts, for Pete's sake. It's not a readily available, But at any rate, I think that there's a little bit of lies. There's a little truth mixed in with her outrageous lies. And she's not a stupid person. She's not as smart as she thinks she is, but she's by no means dumb. And if we really listen to what she says and then match it up with factual evidence, right? She has almost a readily available reason for everything.
Yeah, always. That's part of her manipulation. She's so good at it too. She's been doing it a long time. You can tell. I've met people like that are just such liars and manipulators that it's like their second nature to them to do it. And sometimes they don't even know they are, right? And you know what I mean? Like people like that. Now, Parker's comment, I've always thought that she was waiting for him to pass while they were out that day. Did you think that as well? Like that's why she kept looking out the window and had him that she thought he would pass and she could get rid of him before she came home. As awful as that sounds, and but I do believe that that's correct.
I think that that's correct. What I think is that she was, and I hate to say this about her, but this is further evidence of not a psychotic break. I think she was smart enough not to Google lethal amounts of hydrocodone.
Right.
And I think what she did was guess, because one, one element of a lethal overdose of an opiate is it slows your respirations. So,
Yeah.
so you know what I mean? So I think perhaps she, I think she gave him one, probably not. No, I think she gave him several, but I don't think she gave him several at once.
Right.
I think she wanted some measure of control, and she needed to be out running around. Do you know what I mean? And she had to have time to like think.
Well, I've always believed that she thought he was going to pass while they were out. And as a matter of fact, for a long time, I thought he did. Because you see that bouncing, it looks almost like a suitcase bouncing in the back of the car as they're pulling out. There's a lot to that theory. You know, I do believe that she thought that, but I don't know. But let me show y'all something real fast. I walked outside to smoke, but in my notes, instead of cross-exam, I was in your chat, Jen, and cement shoes was in there, and I wrote cement shoes in my notes. I was like, wait a minute.
Allie's making plans.
Cement shoes.
That's
okay,
funny.
so then the cross-exam, he comes up and asks, did their office inquire that he had a prescription? And also he asked something interesting, and I want to know your thoughts on this. I actually wrote JennLu's pre-mortem notes here because he asked, could injuries to the head be from him being dropped over, the bridge? And you said, remember, no, because it was pre-mortem. They had already asked that. The injuries happened before he passed, but the lawyer was trying to get just any way, any little point that he could get.
Yes, he wanted just an inch.
Yep. Okay, so then we have Al Stauch up there, and he says that he had the prescription. Then we have Andrew Cohen. Now this one's going to be interesting. This is the FBI wiretap guy.
Oh, yes.
And he's talking about, we only wiretap if we've exhausted all of our other resources. It's a very intrusive, investigative tool, basically. He talks about her buying a burner phone at Walmart, which I thought that was kind of interesting. And then he talks about this lie detector test, which I screenshot this from Melissa Jades because I didn't have it. But these were the questions that she had tried to get. One was, do you intend to answer these questions regarding your stepson truthfully? Yes. Another, did you participate in any way causing harm to your stepson? Did your stepson return with you to your home? Yes. Did you participate in any way in causing the death of your stepson? Well, they have do you want me to play those recordings?
Yes, because y'all, if you missed this today, let me just tell you, this woman, just wait. I'm not even gonna spoil it, but I'm going to tell you right now. Just wait.
Yeah, she, oh my gosh, I think that this is part of her manipulation and thinking that she can explain every little thing away when she calls back the second time. So here's the first one, and then I'll play that one. The first one's only a minute, but
just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce.
Hey, Dana from StreamYard, you need to fix it.
Yeah, really. Let us see when somebody purchases memberships, does a milestone, those kind of things, because that's some BS. Sorry.
Right, exactly.
I hate that because we can't.
Stop having my Wi-Fi go all wonky, because so many people are streaming. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. I have good Wi-Fi.
It's ridiculous.
My student gets that email.
Okay, can I ask your name, please?
It's last name Stauch.
Oh, right, yes, perfect. I can see here.
He talked 10, 15 minutes, and he said it again. I still don't have it.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it's actually been blocked by management, this order, due to the content of the questions, so we're not going to be able to send this report.
Okay. So, do I get my money back?
Unfortunately, not on this case, no. Obviously, true to our terms and conditions, it does clearly state that any sort of illegal activities or anything like that, obviously the management do reserve the right not to send reports. Obviously, we do incur processing fees, so that's why a refund wouldn't be due.
Look at her.
So what do you do now? Just delete it and go on about life and money?
Yes, we would do indeed.
I got you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now. Bye-bye.
Look at her. You ain't embarrassed, are you, girl?
Look at her.
Uh-huh.
Messy, 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 Letecia.
Then I think that she really believes that this is like I said, her manipulation. Does she think that this next part is going to get her out of those questions? I don't know. And also, do I get my money back? Well, no,
Right.
you don't get your damn money back.
You violated the terms of service, ding dong. No.
Deb said, was it just me or was she smirking when I was back on the stand? You know what? I was not watching her at that moment. Because I was listening and doing other things too. So I had to go back and look, Debs, but now you've got me curious.
Now I'm going to have to go back and look because I did not notice that. But I will say, I've heard from more than one person that she was smirking during the autopsy photos.
Oh, she made me so mad just the way she was just looking. Like I took screenshots and cropped everything else out but her, just because of her, like she's just staring straight. I don't know, just felt rude and disgusting.
I've got to figure out a way to clean up the stream so that picture of when they zoom in on her, it's clearer. There is a way to do it. I just have to mess with it.
Oh yes, you should, because I would love to see I'd love to see it a little better. Avery, I told y'all my grandpa came from Spain too. I'm right with y'all. We're gonna all that fieriness that like those Spanish women have coming for Letecia. Letecia. as y'all say.
Letecia.
Okay, I'm gonna play this now. Here.
Okay.
Hi, how can
I did it hang up.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I can hear you now. How can I help you?
Okay. I talked to you earlier and you said that the request I did was blocked or something, but I looked on the terms and conditions and it says you can't say things about like infidelity and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how that was blocked.
Say that again, sorry, that you can or can't.
No, okay, so I did a report earlier and you said you would send it to me. Then when I called back, you said it was blocked, that I wasn't allowed to get the report. But then I clicked the terms and conditions and it says you can do questions about infidelity and stuff like that.
Yes, infidelity you can, correct.
Right, and that's what I did.
Your report was about infidelity, was it?
What did you say?
So you're saying your report was about infidelity?
Yeah. Like I put questions in for it and you had to put like answers and you said something about it being blocked.
Yes, and what were your questions?
So it was about during the time that we were away inside of in another state that I talked to and I gave the person's individual's name, Ortega.
Okay,
That was one of them.
hold on a minute.
And it said, "Are your eyes blue?"
Letecia, literally none of those questions were asked. Do you think this is this guy's first day on the job or this company's first minute having a company? You don't think they can see the questions that you submitted? You friggin' buffoon.
She is such a fool. I'm not even going to play the rest because that's basically all it is. She's that way because there's a lot for us to go through. But she thinks that she can get by with just saying, yeah, that was about infidelity. And can I change my questions? He's like, no, I got to look into this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And they did. Looked right into it and turned it right on over to law enforcement.
And they did.
Fucking Letecia. It
All
says
right,
he
see.
said illegalities, I think is what he said. I don't know where she came up with infidelity. I mean, that is just asinine, Letecia. Come on.
Okay, Braze, it's an accident. I sent the wrong questions to the wrong person. This is actually what I meant to say.
Right. I don't know where those questions about the death of my stepson came in. That's just, whew, I don't know.
Lord. Okay, then we
How
have
did
Christina.
that happen? Dumb bitch.
Oh my God.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, that's not professional.
No, that's okay, because she brings it out in me. I'll be sitting there watching and I get furious. I just can feel it coming through me. I'm like, oh, yeah. So I'm so glad a company that does fake polygraphs has the standards they do and turned it over. Me too, Avery. Okay. Next we have Christina Cervantes. She was crime lab specialist. She was an evidence technician in El Paso County. She is now a crime lab specialist. She said she received several calls asking about returning stuff to Letecia. I didn't record this one because they paused in the middle, but they do actually play the call, and you have Letecia pretending to be Harley. Oh my God. It's so embarrassing.
I'm embarrassed for her, and I'm not even a part of it. I didn't do this shit, but I have embarrassment.
Yes. Exactly. It's cray. I cuss. It's great. It's like seasonings. Adding some seasoning onto it.
I'm putting some flavor, like Emerald. Bam!
That's funny. Dave G, let me give you your wrench back, because I had taken them and removed, and most people are wrenching back on Real Talk, but I don't know. You've been over here since I started, so I'm going to add you back here. Okay. Then we have Detective Michael Bowman.
Oh, wait, after we move off of Cervantes, okay, you have to understand that Letecia called as Harley and wanted the book bag, her birth certificate, her MacBook, and her passport because she's a flight attendant. She told this woman that Harley was that she, as Harley, is a flight attendant and needed it for her job. So now we have Harley as serving in the military and a flight attendant.
At the same time.
And only at 17 years old. Harley is a busy gal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was embarrassing. And then, then we go into... Okay, when I heard Cellbrite and Life 360 and many of the same things, like I had some Watts flashbacks today, for sure.
I had a little PTSD myself. I was just waiting for them to talk about a fucking red car, and then I was going to be out.
The shadows.
Yes.
But yeah, so he talks about Cellbrite and getting this stuff off of 2 devices. There wasn't a ton to that. Then we have Kurt Smith. He oversees 7 detectives. He also talks about Cellbrite, and he had the iPhone. They talk about the kid's phone for a moment there. Then we have Christina Perry. Christina Perry, let's see. She's from El Paso County. Now, there were some interesting parts with this. One, did you hear that did you notice she said Al called them and told them, remember when he didn't see the car at the school and he got suspicious during his testimony? He had actually called her and reported that to her. And so they went to look for the car.
Oh, yes. Okay, it's coming back, yes.
And I don't believe that they found it, because they looked at the schools, they looked at the airport. I thought she left it at the airport. So that kind of confused me, but hey, Jen. But anyways, then she goes on to searching the house, and she said a few interesting things. One part, Harley was very talkative and would talk about anything except Gannon, which was probably by her mom's, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I might have a different viewpoint now after everything, but we're not there yet, so I'm just gonna wait.
Okay. Yeah, because we got some stuff to talk about with Harley for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Then they talk about she shows, and I'll grab the photos. The candle. she talks about searching the different dumpsters and that kind of stuff. And they do show the couch. And actually, I think they get into this with the next witness because it starts with the shoes. But still, I'm going to pull up with the candle and the carpet. So you said you're stuck on this candle thing. This is
Fixated. I
actually where
cannot
she
move
removed the
past.
carpet.
Yes, I cannot move past this candle.
Now, I think the candle has a role, but I just don't know now. Now that we know that the head trauma likely didn't happen like the night before, I really don't know what to think about this candle. But they did recover the candle. Where is that photo? This was interesting. The candle had a sock in it. Is this it?
It
No.
should be that one. Go up more right there. It's like the third picture with the
here we go.
rocks.
Is that it?
It's the one with
There
the
we go.
rocks.
Yes. The candle had a sock in it, which they also found a sock out in the woods, which is weird why there's so many socks. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering, I think you had a really good point with that sock.
Okay, so after I saw the candle itself, okay, I've been wondering about this candle because the way that Letecia talks about it, I always assumed, which I hadn't seen a picture of it. So, but I had always assumed that it was like a candle inside of a glass. Okay. But then the way they were talking about it today, prior to actually showing it, I thought maybe I was wrong. Okay. But then I saw it and I was like, okay, no, I'm thinking what it was, right? It was what it was. So now I will say this. I've said it from the beginning and I'll say it now. That candle is integral to whatever it was that happened. But I don't believe, because that's the only part of her story that has remained consistent in all the variations of all the different things. That dadgum candle has not changed. The story about that candle. Do I believe the story about that candle? No, I do not. But I do believe that that candle played a role. And I am wondering if what Letecia was going to do was try to burn that basement down with Gannon in it. Because at first I thought that she hit him with that candle and caused his skull to fracture.
Me too.
But then after today's testimony, I was like, no, that cannot be, because obviously. So I started thinking about it, and she just makes such a fuss over this candle and this getting the smell of smoke out. There is nothing about that candle that would cause there to be a smoke smell in the house. You know what I mean?
She Googled about that. She had actually
She
Googled
did.
how to get rid of smoke and stuff. And the sock in there could have been a wick. I think you might be onto something. I don't know, but
I think that what happened was, I think she thought, you hear about it on the news, a candle was left burning. Okay. But I think that she doesn't understand that. I think hearing something and following through are two totally different things. And I think what she thought was that she could just knock this candle over and it would catch the carpet or the couch, something would catch on fire. But what she didn't understand is that when it's an old candle and the candle has been burning for a while, the wick starts to go. It gets shorter and shorter. And if you knock a candle over, it's liquid. The wax turns to liquid and it will snuff the candle out.
mm-hmm.
And I don't think that she counted on that. And so what she ended up doing was creating a mess. And I think that is why we hear on that video and that she recorded. When I listen to that video, when I hear Gannon's voice, he clearly is scared and upset. That's very, very clear. But I also hear something else, confusion. Like he doesn't understand why she's asking him about this damn ass candle.
Yeah, he does. I think he sounds a little confused too and scared. I don't know, that I'm just worried about my burn still has me wondering how that happened, unless she lit the fire right by him or something. I don't know. He does sound confused though. He sounds very scared and like he's not sure of himself. It actually is how I would describe it. Like, like he's not sure of what he's saying. Hey, pizza chemist.
And
Oh,
he sounds
pizza
like he's
oven.
in pain. That cry that he makes isn't a child to me. That sounds like there's a difference in a kid's cry when they're in pain and when they're upset about something. And there is also like he makes this noise. I'm sorry, you guys, but he does that like that. And that is pain.
Oh my God. Pizza chemist, thank you so much for gifting those. Thank you
that was so
much.
sweet.
Yes, thank you. Oh my God, you sounded just like him right there. He does do that exact thing. This same detective that's on the stand also talks about them showing up with the car wash. I thought that was kind of comical. She said it was a day. The car was still had droplets on it. Look. I mean,
Letecia, this is bullshit laziness. And I'll say this, people that are asking about the burns, due to the condition of his little body, because the medical examiner was asked about this by the defense, and she could not find evidence of burns because of the decomposition.
Yep. Oh my God. I mean, it was so awful, you guys. And this is quite graphic, but his bone was showing in one place, because the decomposition was to that point. Okay, let me see. Then the next thing I wrote down was cross-examination. So this is when my jaw dropped. We have Letecia's lawyer get up there and say, how long did Harley have unfettered access to the crime scene? Then he says, so Harley has access to the crime scene after you leave and before you come back. They were literally I don't know that they were blaming Harley or just trying to create enough reasonable doubt that it could have been Harley. We also found out she was at one point a person of interest today, which that does not mean suspect. There's a big difference. A person of interest does not mean that you did anything. It means that you may have knowledge that they want to know. Now, suspect, that's a totally different thing, but you can be a person of interest and have nothing to do with committing the crime, but just have some sort of knowledge about it that they want. But they also, we find out also in the video footage, I think when this detective is on, that because the shadow and stuff, that Harley went into the house for 15 minutes. And I didn't know that before. So yeah, Christine.
Neither did I. Neither did I. So I talked a little bit about this today and then a little last night. My thoughts with Harley are this. We're hearing what Gannon went through, and he only knew Letecia for 6 years, right? Harley was raised by Letecia raised Harley. Okay. So, and for the majority of it, unsupervised, i.e. there was, because her father had passed away. So I feel like sometimes we read too much into person of interest because the cops do and have used the term person of interest and suspect synonymously, interchangeably. But I think what they wanted from Harley is they wanted to know what she knew, because at the end of the day, the first thing that happens is she gets home and her mother sends her to the store, not for milk, not for butter, not for sugar, not for 5-Hour Energy like I send my kids to the store for, but cleaning supplies. And one of the things that the medical examiner testified to, and she couldn't say how long, but what she said was that these injuries to Gannon occurred over a period of time. And that's really, nobody probed her any further than that. Now, I would have been like, when you say over a period of time, what is your best guess, if any, with any to some reasonable degree of scientific certainty or whatever it is? I do think that Letecia kept Harley very, very, very close, and that is why when she went and was supposed to have that SANE exam, and and she called for a ride and they came to get her. I believe that's why she from the back seat messaged as if she were Harley, asking if her mom could stay there too, because I don't think she wanted Harley out of her sight. And I think that is indicative of Harley. I don't know how much she knew, but whatever it was that she did know, Letecia did not want her telling.
I think you're exactly right. She had, that's another point, and I wrote this down. Melissa actually said this to me, and it's such a great point.
Okay.
You know, when the cop is talking about, Leticia's outside, she throws her keys, she's running. Harley comes out and she starts screaming, "Harley, don't tell him anything."
Yes.
Why would she say that if Harley didn't have anything to tell him?
Well, exactly right. And
if Harley
to be
knew
fair,
nothing, what could she tell him?
exactly.
She wouldn't even have to say that.
If she knew nothing, and meaning everything that allegedly happened when Harley wasn't there. So what would Harley be able to tell them in the first place?
Yep. I think that's a really good point. Maybe, I don't know. I'm thinking now, what are your thoughts on how involved she was?
I don't know. I think she was probably more in the beginning with the cleaning supplies. I think that she was an unwitting accomplice, meaning I don't think she knew straight away what was going on. But I think certainly after Landon arrived and Letecia was removed from the home, I think that the wheels probably started turning. And I do think, but I involved, I don't know that how, I don't think involved is the right. Yeah, I think she knew some things. And I bet you that when they put her on this stand, I'm very, very curious how far back they're going to go with Harley. Are they going to talk about their home life? All three of them, Gannon and Harley and his sister. What kind of environment it was, and how far are they going to go back?
Parker says, I think by the time she figured it out, Letecia convinced her she was an accomplice at that point.
Probably.
Lupe, she does behave like an addict. Erratic behavior, compulsive lying, very brazen, like the throwing the keys and the line. Just she does. She absolutely behaves just like. I don't think so though.
She broke out in a full sprint, y'all, and all they want. None of the search warrants were for her. They were for Harley stuff.
Yeah,
and she acted a straight fool, and then had the gall. This happened in a public place. It happened at friggin' Marshall's. Okay. That they've got security cameras in the dadgum parking lot. So, somewhere there is footage of this crazy incident, right? But then she has the unmitigated gall, the audacity to go on to do an interview with a reporter and say all the things, conveniently leaving out the fact that she took off running in a full sprint and chunked the car keys.
I know
that part just didn't make the cut. That made it. That was on the edit. That was on the editing room floor. It just wasn't. Whatever, Letecia.
Hey, Mystic. Okay, so speaking of the smell though, someone said, wouldn't they smell blood? So we have next was Tim Farrell, and he's a El Paso County Sheriff as well. And that's where he actually is who talks about the shoes and the pink substance on the bottom, as if blood had like they had been washed. And he talks about the smell, and the next cop also talks about the smell. One smells it, one doesn't. Regardless, though, one of them, let me see, was it him? No smell for him, but the next officer did smell it. But they did ask him if he smells, and he says no. But what's his name? The next officer, Beeville, did. He said that, it smelled like bleach, like cleaning fluids. He said as soon as he got to Gannon's doorway, he smelled that.
That's what he smelled.
And as he got closer to the bed, right? Or
yes, to the light switch, he said too. He said as soon as I got near that light switch and then to the bed, it smelled like straight bleach.
Yeah, me too, Honest Purple. Me too, Trailer Trash Barbie. Okay, then they show the bed. Here's the bed, and then they take the there's our Spencer Wilson. They took the sheets off, and I'm glad they did, because imagine the first time they searched, they did not take the sheets off. And they even asked the guy, why did they take them off? And he said it was another officer's idea to look and see if there was anything relevant or whatever in the bedding. Thank God they took the sheets off, because then they noticed this red spot on the side, which they turn over and you can see some more of it here. And which this most likely led them to the outlet and the carpet or the padding, because she cleaned the spot off of the carpet. You couldn't see it to the eye, right? But the blood had soaked through to the padding and the cement underneath.
That's a substantial amount of liquid for it to do that. I mean, unless, well, let me preface this. There's different grades of carpet and padding. So the better the carpet grade and the better the padding grade, but it's still, even with cheap stuff, it takes a substantial amount for it to soak to the subfloor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And well, it went through to the carpet, and they said there was a bunch in that outlet too. So so he was likely shot right there laying in bed, huh?
Probably. Well, I mean, yeah, probably.
And especially if two went in the pillow, like maybe she missed. I don't know. But
what I can't figure out is how his pillow was able to stop it, how it didn't go through to the mattress. And the only reason I say that is because when I looked into the Amityville horror murders, the DeFeo parents, there was a projectile that went through the mom, through the mattress, through the box spring, and was on the floor underneath the bed. But that was a shotgun. So was it a shotgun? Don't take my word. I don't. I have to go back and look now.
When someone passes, don't you release all your fluids? Could that be part of the liquid? I was talking to my dad about this tonight, and because my dad's a chemist, he's a biochemist. He, basically studies all kinds of different matter, living, not all kinds of stuff. I don't know. But anyways, he was telling me that a lot of the blood he probably lost due to the injuries, but even, and it's awful to think about, but when the body decomposes, the stomach bloats, it eventually opens, and you're going to release a lot of it that way too. Because I was asking him, where does it go? And I still never got a very clear answer.
It gets liquidy. It gets liquidy. And the thing of it is that when she performed the autopsy on Gannon, he didn't have a pancreas. Okay. Your pancreas is a vital organ. You cannot live without a pancreas. And she explained that over time and being exposed to the elements, as it were, and not preserved or anything like that, everything starts to just liquefy, break down. All of your tissues and everything break down. They dissolve.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's awful to think about. Kara, that is common. People, they'll tell you, like, if you watch a lot of murder shows, they'll say, like, if they come to a scene and the person's face is covered, for instance, it's likely that the person that killed him knew them because
Yes.
they don't want to look at their face while they're doing that. So I don't know. Okay, so Spencer Wilson, Jen. Holy moly, this man.
Let me just say, Spencer Wilson today, he was an MVP. He really was. He really was.
I think I have a crush on him now. I can't help it.
Oh, the hydrocodone thing. This is what she could say about the hydrocodone. He had it within, about 12 hours prior to his death, and the reason why is because it was fully metabolized, and it then became the byproduct of hydrocodone, which is what is it? Hydromorphone. Thank you.
I heard them say it today.
So
12 hours.
12 hours would have
after.
12 hours
right?
prior to 12 hours prior to his death. So he died within 12 hours of having that hydrocodone, which, if you think about it, that's about right for the time of the video, right?
Mel, it was partially metabolized the time of the video. Would that have been like 10 hours before? Yeah, right around that. It'd be about like 3 or 4 hours after, really, if you like right after the video. We can.
It was not fully metabolized. I thought that she said that it was.
I thought she said partially. She said it was partially metabolized, and she mentioned it, that it had she found what it metabolizes into, which is hydromorphone. She said that on the stand today.
Okay.
Hydromorphone is actually Dilaudid, and it like in the pill form, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, she did say it was partially. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what hydromorphone is, Dilaudid. But when hydrocodone also breaks down into hydromorphone, I guess.
But the 12 hours, that I know for sure, but I do remember that.
She definitely
said within
that
about 12 hours.
At least. Yeah, and that it had somewhat metabolized, at least somewhat. I definitely heard that. Yeah, Dilaudid is hydromorphone. But she
had
also
to
said
to metabolize quite a bit if it was already in the liver.
Dilaudid wasn't in his system.
No, just hydrocodone.
Yeah, it's just that hydrocodone metabolizes into hydromorphone the same way that THC the version of it that, or even delta 8, it all metabolizes into the same thing. So you'll fail for all of them when you take a regular THC test, but THCA metabolizes into just straight THC or whatever. Like it changes chemical structure, but he did not take Dilaudid. It just, during the process of it being metabolized by the body, turns into that. Right? Am I explaining that correctly?
Yeah, no, you're.
Yes, hydrocodone metabolizes into hydromorphone, and hydromorphone is Dilaudid, but he did not take Dilaudid.
No, Dilaudid, babe.
Dilaudid. Yeah, I know.
There you go.
That's just how I say it.
Delilah? What do you call it?
I said Dilaudid.
Dilaudid. Okay.
Dilaudid. But I just said it fast. But yeah, Dilaudid. Obviously, I know what it is. I knew it was hydromorphone. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But yes, K4s, K2s, K8s, those kind of things is what those are the Dilaudids I've seen. It is metabolized in the liver from hydrocodone to hydromorphone. The most disgusting people look down on others. According to Dr. Google, it takes 20 hours for hydrocodone to metabolize. Who's looking down on anybody, Honest Purple? I don't think anybody is. Yada 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 delata. Delata. That's what what did it sound like I said?
At first, I was trying to say Delilah for literally zero reason because I couldn't.
Well, let's see. Yeah, okay. Spencer Wilson. Anyways, back to Spencer Wilson.
Yes.
And besides, to me, like all that, it's quite confusing, like as far as how much it was metabolized or when he would have taken it or any of that. And yeah, apparently they didn't even factor it in onto like a contributing factor into his death. And so I mean, we really aren't going to ever really know, how much or if it was whatever. So I don't know. We'll move on.
I know. I wish
yes.
we knew the full candle story too. I just was trying to think about it because that is one of the things that the doctor or the medical examiner talked about is the cough syrup. But then they got Al up on the stand to say that at some point he had cut the tip of his finger off doing like a woodworking project, and he was prescribed hydrocodone, and that it was that he didn't take it. He said that the ibuprofen was enough, and so he had a bottle of it, and it was in his nightstand, and only him and Letecia knew where it was. So it wasn't like Gannon helped himself. You know what I mean? And I think that's what they were like. That they needed to connect those dots. They needed to leave no stone unturned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even like this with the pill, I'm glad they did that. But like, think about when your kids were little, like, and Lortabs, they're not little pills. They're, they're more bigger. They're not like your tiny tablet. They're kind of bigger pills. And like, I think it'd be hard for him to take a lot. If she crushed it or something.
Well, you can take one. You don't. Okay. Like say you want to take, I don't know, more than one. You don't necessarily have to swallow more than one at a time. You can just take one at a time. You know what I mean? You can can put one, swallow, put another, swallow. But we're not going to have a satisfactory conclusion to the hydrocodone as far as how much of a role it played, only because, and she said this, because of the decomp, and because she tried to test it in the spleen and in the liver, and they were only able to get results from the liver because of the decomposition. So yeah, we're never going to have like a whole satisfactory like conclusion to that, which is annoying.
It is annoying because I want to know, like, if it was meant to like help him. She thought maybe she could get him past his injury and move on, or what. And I just think they're so powdery. There's a lot to it. So if there was like a lethal dose, that would be quite a lot, I would think. But then again, he has no tolerance, so maybe not. I don't know.
Right, and also if she did it for nefarious reasons, I'd like another charge added. Which I know I don't have choice. They don't ask my opinion on that, but
I'd like another charge added.
I'd like another charge added. Like keep her in there for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like forever.
And the last thing I got to say about this, the hydrocodone, why did her lawyer try to make it seem like it could have been possible that he was prescribed that? Or, you know what I mean? Come on. They will not even hardly give kids codeine cough syrup, much less hydrocodone.
No, my daughter, remember I told you guys, she had walking pneumonia in between, Christmas and New Year, or after, in between New Year's, Christmas and New Year's, Eve. And they didn't give her anything but some dadgum amoxicillin and sent her a little happy butt on the way and said, you need to rest, little girl, which is what I told her.
Crazy. It's just crazy. Well, even Bentley right now, he's about there too. They said he was nearing the pneumonia.
No, Parker, they didn't. Said, and I think that was intentional, babe. I think that's the smart thing. That's the only thing that she did that was half-ass smart, was to
Now,
not Google that.
Didn't she Google the did she Google something about bath salts, or am I remembering it incorrectly? Because
I can't remember if she Googled. All I can her Google stuff was so inflammatory that all I can remember is, am I going to get a Valentine's Day card or from my mother, from the mother of the kids I'm raising, because she doesn't, or whatever the hell. I mean, just those throwed off Google searches, they're so inflammatory that those are the only ones I remember.
Mhm.
I feel like if she Googled about bath salts, though, we would remember that, especially because of the hydrocodone today. I feel like it would have triggered a memory.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm gonna Google really fast.
Yeah.
Letecia Stauch. Google. I wish I had the thing pulled up, the affidavit right here, but you know what? It's honestly not even going to be accurate because it was released prematurely before he was found. And so they did a second one when they added new charges, like when he was found. And what are me and you have talked about this many times, like the upgrade to a charge. What do you call it?
Oh, yeah. Special circumstances.
Yes, when they did that, they did like a new affidavit, and we've never seen that. It's never been released.
Something that I've been meaning to ask you, in the very, very early days of the trial, did I hear correctly? Did they drop one of the charges against her? The child abuse resulting in death or something like that? Wasn't one of her charges dropped at the beginning? Okay. I thought I totally made that up in my own brain. Thank God you confirmed it for me.
Yep, I remember that because Crime Curious, I remember her talking about it. So I know you're right. They did.
I wonder why she did that.
I don't know, but here are the things, but it's so blurry. It's hard to see, but I don't see. It says they are asking for our son's toothbrush, but said nothing is wrong. That's what she Googled.
Yes.
Smoke from fire effects, will humidifier help?
Do you see? This is what I think that she was going to do. I think that this is, I don't know what you cannot burn a body and then think that you're going to use a humidifier and you're still going to be able to live in that house, even if it is in the basement. I wouldn't think. I don't know for sure. I'm not an arsonist, so I don't know, but I feel like she intended to start a fire because there damn sure there was no smoke damage in that basement that would require a humidifier or, just the lengths that she went to Google search. That's extra for a knocked over candle.
It says, will smoke effects, will humidifier help? Smoke effects from fire, will humidifier help? Will humidifier help if exposed to smoke? My son burned the carpet. How do I fix it? Sorry, I just wanted to grab the ones about the fire while you were talking about that, but I think that's it.
And by the way, if all of this, let's just say that that Letecia and this one part of the story is telling the truth, that all of this was precipitated by this candle. There's like 11 billion YouTube videos on how you can patch a carpet. You just take a piece from a closet or something. And, you can use, it's never going to look quite right, but it'll be better than like a square patch cut out of the carpet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but still, she could have found other ways to fix it. You're right. And I'm sure there's TikTok videos and everything on it.
Right.
But what's your son? Has a good question. On the call, when Al asked if she gave him Tylenol, remember, she says no.
Mm-hmm. She did. She said no. That's what she said. She's a lying liar mouth who tells lies. She's terrible. She's just a horrible, horrible person. Terrible. Her new name is, what did I call her today, Allie? What did I nickname her? Oh, Letecia Samara Stauch. That's what I called her.
And I think it's perfect because she don't like her middle name. We know that. She wanted to change it to Taylor.
Yes.
So Samara.
Yeah, now she can, that's who she looks like.
Okay, I'm gonna just quickly. I'll go back to Spencer Wilson. Then we can talk about Lori for a minute if you want, because we're already kind of far. But I still want to talk about it quickly.
Yes, we have
if
to
you-
talk about
if you're
Lori.
okay.
I'm always okay to talk to you, Allie. Are
Of
you
course.
new?
Okay,
Have you met me?
Well, awesome.
I love our
We'll sit
conversations
down and stay a while.
with just me, you, and
Okay.
however many of our closest pals are in the chat right now. Love it. It's my favorite.
I do too. It's fun. It is, especially when nobody like in your regular life is probably going to talk about these things with you. Then we find each other and we talk about it, and like
Samara is
'cause my
from
family.
Yeah, I can't. I started asking my husband about the bridge thing, and he was like, "Babe, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. This is not how I want to start my day out." And I was like, "Okay, but I have questions."
See,
I love
the
you,
family's
but
not down for it.
no. And cement shoes. Samara is from The Ring. The lady from The Grudge is I feel like her name is like Yukio or something like that. I can't remember what her name is, but Samara is the girl from The Ring. 7 days.
7 days. Oh my God, that freaked me out back then. I'll never forget that when it first.
You want me to
out.
really
That's a
freak
scary
you out,
movie.
Allie? Listen to this. Are you ready? Hold on.
Mhm.
I can't even believe that I
Did you do?
can do that.
Me neither.
I did
but
The
thank you
Grudge.
for
I did
sharing it
that
with
growl
us.
thing that she does. I'm a multifaceted gal.
Talented.
Yeah, that too.
You are talented, but that's
Thank
talent
you.
too. It is. The extra talent.
It's one of them hidden talents you'll only find over here on The Ward and Allie Erickson.
7 days. Jen, that was funny. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So Spencer Wilson, anyways, I couldn't believe like the way that this started. He had he had an attitude towards her from the beginning, which I loved. But
Yes.
that interview actually came because she was like yelling at him and
Yes.
criticizing him.
Yes. That's what I thought was so funny because, yeah. Then he walks over to the vehicle and it's her. And he says, well, if you think I'm doing it so wrong, why don't you get out and have a chat with me and tell me what I got wrong? Sounds like some shit I would say.
I know. And then she did it. But she
Yes,
did it.
she did
She's
it.
like, all right.
Okay, sure.
Okay, sure. And then I have a little clip of his though, but I'll read through my notes first before I get to it. But the quote where he says he talked to neighbors who were more concerned for Gannon, that surprised me a little bit. And then he says,
Yes.
Letecia, the past tense, he does talk about that, and that he noticed it. Here, I'll just play this clip and then I'll get your thoughts. But I thought he was a rock star today for sure.
I did too. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Whatever you want.
Cute too.
So I went back, turned the camera back on, but this time she was crying when she was not crying the first time, and her demeanor completely changed. It went basically from, I can't wait till you're home. Everyone's going to see that I'm not lying. They owe me an apology. To, I will not mimic someone crying, but she was very upset in the second part, which took a second to happen.
Based on the things that you were hearing coming from the defendant, Letecia Stauch in this case, during that interview, did it seem that she was more focused on how she was being perceived publicly as opposed to helping find Gannon?
Absolutely. I talked to neighbors who were more concerned for Gannon.
Sure. Mel said,
whatever you want. So I went back, turned the camera back on. I talked to neighbors who were more concerned for Gannon. Sure, whatever you want.
I would love
that
to
clip from Mel, but
I would love to panel with Mel.
I thought about it today watching after, because I watched with you the first half, and I had went over to Sleuth Moms, but I went over to Icked Mails because he like changes. See how he has the picture size all different, like and I thought about asking, like looking for his email and trying to ask him to do like an interview or a panel about this. That would be fun. You should. I'll ask him.
Let's co-write it. We could co-write it.
Yes, I'm down. And we could get him up here on a panel with a few of us and just talk about the case and stuff.
Yes, because he's funny in the way he does it. Like, he's knowledgeable about the case, but he interjects a little humor. And I had, when Spencer said what he said, I had the same reaction. I didn't make a ooh sound. Mine was ooh.
I did too. I had the exact same reaction. But so yeah, she True Crime Crazy asked, did we know that she had refilmed that part? But doesn't the end of it end kind of funky, like it ends and she comes back on camera? Let me go pull that up real fast.
Okay. So I had not noticed it before, but when I was watching this afternoon, I turned the chat off because of the way that Law and Crime has it. If you don't turn the chat off, you can't see what's on the screen, like above the witness. So I turned the chat off and I was watching, and I think that it does end weird, and it looks like there's an edit. There's like a little glitch. Personally, when I see glitches like that, I always think that it's the demon that is inside of these criminals that it causes the glitch. It happens, and there's a point when it does it with NK's interview. There's one in Chris Watts's interview. There's one in Arias's interview, in Dalia DePolito. There's a bunch, and I'm like, science, bitches. Like, I'm thoroughly convinced that it has to do with the demon that resides inside of them.
And I'm not joking at all. I would not be surprised. I truly believe that there's evil in a lot of these people that we talk about. I really do. So I know it's funny, but also I believe it. I really do. But if you can't tell me Letecia does not have some kind of demon in her, if you look at those first videos of her in the bond hearing, she looks evil as hell.
Oh, did you see what Teresa wrote? Spencer tweeted about the retake and dropped the unedited version. Head over to the Twitter. Here we come. Yes. Come on, y'all. We're going on a trip on our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the skies, little Einsteins. All the way to the Twitter.
Do you remember when he quit? He just quit reporting on the case, and I think he moved or something. But I remember like all of this kind of happening in real time. Like he used to go to the courtrooms and everything, and then he just quit. And I will think it's because maybe he was going to be a witness. I don't know, but interesting. Here's his Twitter. Would that be like if you're a reporter and you're reporting on a case, and then they call you to be a witness? Will they can you still report on it?
Oh, I'm not sure.
He did
probably
that right
not.
After. Okay. I remember when he did it, but where did he tweet? In the replies? Oh, here we go. An update for the folks. No, wait. Two hours ago.
Oh, there it is. Is that not the interview right there, or was that just a picture?
That's from March 20th. Where's it at, T? Is that it? Or Because there's his tweet from today. Appreciate it. Sadly, no, I've got to set it out. I was told I'd get a head up when the verdict comes. Will you be able to stay in the courtroom now? Said no, I've got to set it out. So, yep, that's probably why he's not reporting on it, because he can't.
Oh, he did it after the original interview? Is that what criminality is saying? Yes.
Oh, okay.
But it's got to be somewhere in his feed. It can't be deleted. So
What if I search his name with her name?
Yes.
But it's probably going to pull up a lot today where he was testifying, but.
Yeah, that's true.
Top.
What does she say? Does she say she has screenshot? I got to look at my phone. I can't be trying to look at the TV. It's too far away.
Yeah, look here. It was my hope to cover the trial for CBS News, but because I've been subpoenaed as a witness, I can't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, here's the one he tweeted and put out the interview. Like, let's see what the end of this looks like.
All right.
Get a lot of
Nate Eaton said that he requested the audio footage for Lori Vallow. After this, I'll pull up Lori Vallow trial and see what we can find on Twitter.
Okay.
Commercials on. The food's great.
Because Allie and I, as you guys know, are trial buddies, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to schedule all of this. We're waiting to see how the audio gets released. Like, are they, how quickly they're able to get it? I will not use I won't restream it. I'll give you guys highlights. I'll link you to it. We can talk about it. But I don't want to, it costs them money. I don't want to do them dirty like that, Yeah.
I don't either. That's kind of how I'm at. Maybe I'll take a clip out or something of important part. But this is, I think what Teresa's talking about is what I'm thinking of. The reason why at the end it's different. It cuts off and she comes back on, I think. But
okay.
See that I'm not missing and see that I am being cooperative. But to me, it's okay that they think those things, because the way someone thinks about me, I don't have a problem with that. My main thing is I would never want someone to think that I would hurt Gannon or any of the children in our home, because that's just not the case. I've spent my whole entire life working so hard in education. There was even things online that was talking about my education license and I shouldn't even be a teacher. And they just didn't know that. Like, we moved on a military move and I didn't finish out my contract. So I gave up my license in that state. It had nothing to do with any criminal activity, or any of those things. And it just got blown out of proportion on my professional status.
I don't think that's how that works. And also, I know there's been a lot of talk about Letecia's hair in the courtroom, but I got to say, y'all, this not washing and brushing her hair goes way back. It doesn't look washed or brushed in this interview either.
Not at all.
Would you even care
about
doing those things? Because this is a child. You're telling me that you're just as mean, you're just as hateful to talk about someone else like that.
No, Letecia.
We just should not. We should all come together and wait until the end and see what happens, because Gannon's going to come home.
Oh,
no,
my God.
The level of anger and outrage and disgust that society feels for people like you is not indicative of there being something wrong with us, ma'am.
Nope. It's because of you. I don't think they're putting the next part on here unless it. Yep.
I just wanted to add a message from my family, is that we love you and miss you, and we hope that you come home soon. Again, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay.
Get that rat's nest.
That's the part she redid. So we don't. Okay. So he said, number one, she quit crying almost immediately. And number two, she, the first time she wasn't crying, the first time she said it. And welcome, Jet's mom. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much.
She's just evil incarnate. Like, every cell in her body is evil. She's permeated with evil. I don't know if she was always evil. I don't know what happened to her to make her evil. And you know what, to be honest with you, I don't care unless unless we can learn something that would be able to help us prevent another child from suffering the way that Gannon did. But that's where my care ends. Like
Yeah, me too.
Ugh.
Okay, I'm gonna search Lori Vallow trial.
Okay.
Teresa said she's searching for that, and maybe we'll find it. And if
She
not,
did
I'm
say
sure
that
we'll
the audio is already out. So that means you and I are going to have to get our heads together and figure out how we're going to do this.
Oh my gosh, no way it's out. Now I'm so nervous.
I know, me too.
Uh,
Kay's already, I know
can't
Kay
wait to hear opening
testified.
statement. Kay and Brandon. And I forgot about
look
this.
at, there's Lori's pretty mug, looking like the cowardly lion from, bless
She
it.
looks just like the cowardly lion. But Brandon testified today, and he actually identified JJ. I had forgotten about that, but he had
You're
went
right.
out there
I forgot about that too.
And he talked about that on the stand a little bit. I think like him and Kay and Larry had created this friendship and bond by this point because the kids were missing. Melanie had been there. Brandon was going through all of that with Melanie, and it was all at the same time. So they were kind of leaning on each other. Scott Reich has the audio. Yay. Let me just look on YouTube real quick while we're sitting here, and then we're not going to watch it or anything, but just.
Well, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, not on the live.
No.
Oh, I'm watching it too. I cannot wait. I'm afraid to put it on and go to sleep because I'm going to be tired. Like, I'm pretty tired already. But where's it at? Is it under videos? Yep. Look here. Day 1, Lori Vallow trial audio. It's only 4 hours.
That's not bad. I wonder how much that cost.
Nate Eaton said $60 to $90 a day. But
so what is that? 300 a week? If it's a low end 60, that's 300 a week, right?
Yeah.
For what? 8 weeks? That's $2,400. Surely we could come together as a community and purchase the audio.
Why don't we listen? See
okay, yeah.
Some days I think will be more, than others, and then decide. And then
that's a good idea.
Tammy's cause of death was asphyxiation. I had heard that true crime crazy. But I don't know. I cannot believe that it started. I can't believe the audio's like now I'm pumped. How am I going to go to sleep tonight? I don't know, but oh my God. Okay, let me show you some of the stuff, Jen, because I did find like their the drawings. Oh, here's the defense coming out. It says defense. What would you ask them? I might just ask your question on TV. Here we go.
You ready for today? Ready for today?
Yep. Oh, wow. That one guy in the back was the hype man. You could tell. He's like, yeah, we're ready. Oh, my God. I'm so nervous, but anxious and excited. Lori Vallow murder trial husband Chad Daybell's ex-wife died by asphyxiation. What does that mean exactly, Jen?
Lack of oxygen.
Okay.
It's lack of oxygen, but let me just make sure exactly what it actually and factually means, what the literal, definition is.
I'm not clicking on that damn link because it was trying. You guys, I can't believe it's time. I've been waiting on this for so long. I'll never forget the day that the kids were found. I will never forget that. I think it was June 9th, if I'm not mistaken, or June 6th, one of the two.
All right, this is what it actually means. The state or process of being deprived of oxygen, which can result in unconsciousness, death, or suffocation. The cause of death was asphyxiation.
Oh, okay. Let's read this article because this is kind of going to go into what I was going to share you with by tweets, but
Okay.
it's quite interesting the way they did this because they what's that word? Juxtapose.
Yes, that's right.
Like where
you
they
got it.
Yeah. So they show like the kids' hands in their body bags and stuff, like JJ's hand in plastic, show Tammy's hand after she's been exhumed for, all this
Oh,
time.
bless it.
And then they juxtaposed that with Chad and Lori's hands while, getting married with
In
their wedding
Hawaii.
rings on.
Oh, those rat bastards. Them, Lori and Chad. I mean, that's what a powerful visual, though. Do they show it? Are we going to get to see it?
I don't know. I didn't see it when I read it. I just read, that happened from Nady, and he kind of tweeted about it earlier. They were tweeting throughout the whole thing today, like step by step. But
so then, why can't there be dang cameras in the courtroom?
I know. Even the jury said they can't hear over the keyboards because it's so loud. It says gas broke out Monday morning in the Idaho courtroom where the woman dubbed Doomsday Mommy is being tried for her role in the murder of her 2 children and her most recent husband's late wife. Prosecutors projected photos of the kids' remains onto a screen in the Boise courtroom. Prosecutors said that when they were found buried on Chad Daybell's property, 17-year-old Ty Lee's hands had been cut off and 17-year-old JJ Vallow had been bound with duct tape. Prosecutors alleged that Lori Vallow became radicalized in her religious beliefs, using them as a weapon in her plot to kill her 17-year-old daughter, Ty Lee Ryan, and her 7-year-old adopted son, JJ. She is also charged with conspiring with her now husband, Chad Daybell, to kill his wife, Tammy Daybell, before they were wed. Money, power, and sex. That's what this case is about, Prosecutor Lindsay Blake told 18 jurors on Monday morning. Vallow and Daybell, an apocalyptic novelist, are accused of killing their former spouses and Lori's 2 children before fleeing to vacation in Hawaii. The complicated web of crimes prosecutors have accused the couple of, as well as their doomsday religious belief, have developed widespread attention. In the opening statement, Blake told jurors that Vallow believed she had the ability to tell whether people's spirits were light or dark. Blake spoke about how Vallow shopped for wedding rings for herself and Daybell in early 2019 when both of their spouses and children were still alive. The 2 married on a beach in Hawaii 2 weeks after Daybell reported finding Tammy dead one morning in bed. Prior to her death, Daybell increased Tammy's life insurance policy. Vallow is also awaiting trial for Charles's murder. And then they talk about how that happened. Blake said Vallow, Daybell, and her late brother are also accused of conspiring in the attempted shooting of the husband of Vallow's niece, Brandon. Daybell, a former gravedigger, ran a company with his wife that published books about near-death experiences. Let me see. Blake said when they met, Daybell explained to Vallow they had a polygamous, eternal marriage. Oh, and the Moroni, he was buried under these stones.
I shared it too, or commented too. I saw where you shared it, and I commented on it too. Humanimal shared something so powerful that just breaks it down so great, and it's broken in a way that you can completely understand.
Yeah, it is, and maybe that's why he was under I know part of it would be animals and things like that. But oh God, listen. Okay. Never mind. It's about Lori. Thought it was about the kids for a second, but it says that where Tylee's mutilated and burned and JJ's duct taped and bag bodies were found cold in the ground in shallow graves. As Blake spoke, Vallow, in a black jacket and black rimmed glasses with long wavy hair, swiveled her head side to side to her lawyers and wrote vigorously on a yellow legal pad. Her ankles were bound by a chain. In center benches in the hardwood paneled courtroom sat JJ's grandparents, who had reported the children missing. let's see. Oh, JJ's Larry said that he said that he looked Lori in the eye 8 times, and then they said that Lori was like staring at Kay on the stand, and Kay was staring at the prosecutor, like doing a really good job, but Lori was staring her down.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what else we can find. That's the end of that article, but
All
oh
right.
my God, Jen.
Well, that's crazy. Cray 420 about the money and people paying to have to listen to the audio. I will say this. If I had to guess about what the court is going to do with the money from the audio, well, they've changed venue. So that is, they're going to have to pay for that. And because of the widespread interest in this case, Nate did an interview, I think Friday, when the jury ended up being selected, and he spoke to one of the police officers that's in charge of security at the court, and at what all that was going to entail about metal detectors and the overflow room, and how there's limited seating, and you have to do all the things to get a spot, blah 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 blah. So I would imagine that that's where that money is going to go. But I also agree with you that they could have saved themselves a lot of time and money if they would just have allowed cameras in the courtroom, period.
Yeah,
I wish they would
absolutely
change their
would've.
mind.
Listen to this part. So it says,
Okay.
this is the way that this is written. Prosecutor Lindsay Blake said the autopsy revealed Tammy died at the hands of another and that the cause of her death was asphyxiation. You will hear how, around the time of Tammy's exhumation, Alex Cox made a statement along the lines of, quote, "I hope I'm not their fall guy," unquote. Alex Cox died the next day on December 12th, 2019.
Bless it.
Mhm. She was healthy, fit, and all of a sudden
Yes.
she's dead.
And there was something that I had read shortly before I went live this morning. And I can't remember what it was, but it had to do with Lori's niece, Melanie, and Brandon, and how there was a trip to, it was a tweet that so it couldn't have been before I went live. It must have been before this live. The tweets that were coming out about that specific situation. And I had a thought about it, which obviously I don't remember. So I don't even know why the heck I even bothered to bring it up. I was hoping that talking about it would like jog my memory because it was important. It had to do with like they were on a trip like Disneyland or Disney World or something like that. And everything was okay in the beginning. And all of a sudden Melanie did this like complete 180 and she wanted away from him. And she accused him of being homosexual and but that was from Lori's influence. And so see, I think my point to all of this with my big ass Miss America answer is that Lori is the puppet master. Chad just does not strike me as charming enough to pull that off. She is, though. She's very, she's charming,
Chad
unfortunately.
First-degree murder.
Yeah, she absolutely is. Like you said, that's perfect comment because she actually was pageant. You said with your Miss America answer, she literally was in pageants and stuff. She was, but she was.
Do you know my mom made
people-
me go to charm school?
Nuh-uh.
She did. Yeah, I went to charm school. I know how to do all
That's
the
a real
waves.
thing?
It is.
Like,
I know how to sit and get out of the car and yeah, all the things. You would be amazed. Yeah. Taught me how to walk
wait
in
a minute.
like a runway and all that.
I thought that was just a show on VH1. I didn't know Charm School was a thing for real.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a real thing. Dillard's used to do it. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah, when I was in 7th grade. Yeah.
I think it's
My mom
awesome
was
she made you
determined
go.
that I was not going to be a tomboy. And my dad was like, she's going to be a tomboy and then she'll know how to walk a runway. Way to go.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's so cool. I think
Mhm.
it's good they did that because it teaches you stuff that you might not learn otherwise. I think that you have a good point. Kara says Tally was months away. She was college age regardless, but and she and JJ could have went back to his grandparents. Why? I don't know. Because I don't know if she would have. Tally was homeschooled, and I don't know that she would have ever. I don't know what she would have done or wanted to do. But regardless, she was old enough that she could have taken care of herself pretty
I think
soon.
she would
you
have.
know?
I think she would have been. You know what I think she would have done is I think she would have gone to live with her brother,
Corey.
Corey.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I think that. I think that moving them to Idaho and after Tammy's, like they were supposed to, I don't think Tylee was going to go for this blended family baloney and the closet portals and all the things. I think she, I think she was going to be, bless her little heart, an obstacle in Lori's mind.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's sad. It's so sad.
And
you know what? Her brother, even Kay
Colby.
and Larry said they would have taken her. Yeah, Colby. But even Kay and Larry said they would have taken her.
But this is what I think. I think that because I do think that there is the comment that's true crime crazy. I don't think she would have left JJ. No, I don't. I think that what she probably would have done is helped Kay to get JJ.
Yeah.
And I
she
think
could have
that
helped with him there.
Yes, and I think that I think Lori knew it.
Cray Harley's in the military and a flight attendant and full-time student.
She's a busy bee.
Yes. Here, you want to watch this and then we can go get off here and go listen to the audio and then come back and decide how okay. I want to hear what this is, just kind of somebody who was there. I want to watch it because they're kind of giving the defense a little bit of props here, and I think that will be interesting for us to hear. At least that's what it seems like in the caption. It says that they said that the defense put a lot of effort into telling their story today.
Well, that's good.
First, what they hear last, two biggest moments in a trial. And we had the first one today in the Doomsday Mom case, Lori Vallow, her murder trial, opening statements today. Remember, Vallow and her husband, Chad Daybell, face first-degree murder charges for allegedly carrying out a doomsday plot, killing her two children and his ex-wife. No cameras. That's okay. Defense attorney and author Lori Hellis inside front row seat. She's joined by the dynamic duo, defense attorney Mark Aragos, Florida State Attorney Dave Arenberg. Good to have you both. Lori, I start with you. I like that you're giving this insight to us. What are the high points that people need to know?
Well, the prosecution did a pretty good job in opening, not a bang-up kind of a presentation, but very adequate. The defense was a little bit lackluster. It was a little unfortunate, I thought.
Let's give him the Ickett Mel. Ooh, how did he do it?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
That's going to be our new thing. Anytime. Yeah, we're going to have to put that on the thing. So anytime there's something spicy, we can be like, ooh.
Like your smash.
Yes.
They didn't put a lot of effort into telling their story. It was a lot of, gosh, we're really sorry that we're using the taxpayers' money. So it was a little disappointing.
One of those, we got to do what we got to do. What did you make of the defendant?
She was quite still. She spent a lot of time making notes, made a few comments to her attorneys, but for the most part was fairly still. She's in a chair that swivels, so I did notice when it looked like there was some emotional content, she was sort of swiveling her chair back and forth a bit. She did nod a couple of times when her her former sister-in-law, Kay Woodcock, was talking about how close they had been when they first met. So,
Oh, wow.
Any
Oh,
tears?
she's still wearing her hair in the Shih Tzu.
not from Lori.
I wonder if that's an old picture, though. I bet it is, because I don't think
Oh,
any
yeah.
cameras
No
are allowed
cameras
in.
are in the corner room, and there's no glasses there either.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's not wearing
Oh, and then
black. Sorry.
Teresa found those clips of the old interview. I can try to
Ooh.
forward those so we can watch at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yay. Thank you,
Lori?
Teresa.
No.
Thanks, Teresa.
Even when
Kay
they were
Woodcock.
talking about how her kids were dug up out of the backyard?
Nope, not even when autopsy photos came up.
What'd you make of that?
She's been pretty stoic through all of it. There were some autopsy photos that were shown, and she didn't seem to have much reaction to it. But as a defense attorney, I think you spend some time sort of working with your client and, for lack of a better word, sort of inoculating them against those kinds of reactions. And so I think she was fairly practiced. She'd seen those images before, and it wasn't a shock to her.
Well,
Unlike
certainly
Alec
shouldn't be a shock,
Murdoch,
that's for
who
sure.
had snot rockets and all the things.
What did they expect they'd see from her? Or what did she expect she'd see? Lori, you know, well, I mean, she did cry in the jury selection, but we've seen her be like cold-hearted as hell this whole time.
She's incredibly stoic. And I feel like, I don't know. I think a reaction one way, or I think that I don't know how to put it. Come back to me. Skip me this round.
Well, also, I have a photo of JJ that's in, we'll look at that Teresa sent. I haven't heard it yet, but Kay references this photo in her testimony. So while it's my turn. Well, it's this photo.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so nervous to listen.
I know, me too. Me too.
Oh, she didn't, because Lori saw autopsy photos of the kids, saw Tally, and had no reaction. It's just infuriating.
I feel like, though, and I hate even to say this, but I think that if she had a reaction, it's a double-edged sword, right? If she would have grimaced or made a face or showed emotion, it would have been, she feels guilty, she's guilty. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it seems like defendants are on one end of the extreme or the other. You either have the Alec Murdoch, who is crying, and snotting everywhere, right? Or you have the Lori Vallows of the world who have no reaction, which is also unsettling.
Okay. Well, you guys, this is from just to go back to Letecia for a second. Teresa, and I dropped her channel. If you guys aren't subscribed, which most of you I hope are, but if you're not, please go over there and subscribe. She's done great videos on Gannon. She's covering Lori. Her channel's just great altogether. But she just sent this. So it says, I just spoke with the stepmother of the missing 11-year-old. You'll hear the day Gannon went missing. The target, she says, is painted on her back, and the reason detectives say she was not cooperating. And look at her.
Oh my God, Letecia.
I know.
While you were at Marshall's, y'all couldn't pick up a brush and hell, even some damn dry shampoo, something.
No doubt.
Normally I'm not this petty, but I don't have at all any patience for people who hurt children, period.
Me neither. And I would never say that about just your random person, but I don't.
Me either.
I don't care. Yeah, but she deserves it. He says here, sure, the van in the back of the video was part of the caravan. So someone asked Spencer, a lot of us are wondering, is it your news van in the background of your interview, the van we see to the right of your interview taking place? Are you able to share that? He said, sure, the van in the back was part of the caravan she was riding with. I believe that it was her moving truck. My news car was parked in front of her 2 cars, so it was out of frame. Parking went like this, and then he puts like a little legend there. Is this I wonder if there's this oh no, okay, that's just an old news clip. And then this is the last thing where it says biggest red flag was when she asked to redo her final statement, talking directly to Gannon. First try, normal composition. Second try, tears and sobbing. Pretty much the definition of putting on the waterworks. He put that out March 21st.
Good for you, Spencer, because that's exactly what it was. And the defense and their objection was correct. And the judge ruled correctly, in my opinion, by not allowing him to expound any more on her using the past tense. But that is very, very problematic.
Oh, squeaky wheel, thank you. I love this channel. I encourage everyone to do it. Oh, that is very sweet. Thank you. Love your sweet little voice and laid back ways. It sent me to sleep on many nights. Oh, thank you. That is so, so sweet.
That is so sweet.
Honest Purple, I apologize. I am so, so sorry. Crime Curious, did you see how mad she got when Spencer said she approached him by being mean? No, I didn't.
Yes. So, okay, she did. She had an actual reaction. She shook her head, and then she started playing with her hair, and then did the whole half Samara, half Grudge do. Where she puts her hair in her face. Yeah, and yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Her reactions are pretty funny. Like even her today at one point, you're not funny, but just like interesting. Today at one point she was doing like a peace sign. What did you see that while she was sitting there? She had like her two the 2 fingers. I'm like, okay, now is that your next hand?
Should we? I think I'm going to say it now. So, okay, Allie sent me the picture of Letecia on Friday doing the I love you sign to the jury, right? And immediately I flashed to Richard Ramirez, because he also used to hold his hands up to the jury, although he didn't do the I love you. The first one is where he's like he's showing a pentagram on his on the palm of his hand. But then he does something that's actually kind of similar to what Letecia does. It's not quite the I love you, but it's the horns or whatever. And that's who it reminded me of when she was, showing her sign, flashing her gang signs to the jury. I was like, oh, she's out here being like Richard Ramirez. I have no patience for her.
You should make it.
Uh-oh. What happened? Do they, Crime Curious? See, I was wondering about that, if they were still doing that, because I know that one of the jurors, there she is, one of the jurors had sent a note to the judge asking about, she'd been like mouthing some words and nodding or whatever. And the devil horns. Yeah, Craig here.
You should post what you sent me, and then so people can see what you're talking about, because
okay, I will.
I didn't post it because I was waiting on you to share it on your channel, but yeah, and then I'll share it, and people will just see from your post, but I want to share it anyways. But
okay,
yeah, so
you dropped your computer?
Yeah, it died. So
oh no.
Yeah, the jury looks over at Letecia a lot. That's interesting. All right, Jen, thank you for being here with me.
You're welcome,
to go
babe.
through this. Are you going to go listen to the audio now? Or are you going to wait till in the morning, or what are you going to do?
No, I got to listen to it now. Are you kidding me? This is like when you came out, but I had commitments. I had my own live, and then I committed to some panels, and so I had to put it off. But no, this is not that. I'm not putting it off. I will absolutely be going to listen to this right now.
Tonight. I want to listen to
Tonight.
it. I'll probably fall asleep, but I'll just pick up in the morning because
That's
we
what
don't
I'll
start
do.
till 11.
Right. We have plenty of time. That's between the time I wake up and the time I actually go live, I can do the whole 4 hours. As you know, I'd be waking up early as hell for no reason.
I know. 5:30 in the morning.
For no reason.
That's funny. All right. Well, thank
right,
you
babe.
for
Well,
being on here tonight.
You're welcome.
And we can, if you want to, if we're still going to, recap on yours tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
All
that's
right.
a plan. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Bye.